I'm back here at the National Firearms Museum here at NRA headquarters with Doug Wicklund, Senior Curator for the museums. Doug, welcome back to NRA TV and Curator's Corner. How are you, sir?
John, I'm doing fine today. I've got some great guns to share with you.
I appreciate that. Now we're looking at two firearms. Why don't you tell us, what do we have here, Doug?
What we've got, two handguns that are a century apart. We've got a Colt Police Positive Special in 3220 that dates to 1915. Then on the other side, we have a Glock 4th generation that dates to 2015. So 100 years separate these two guns.
Wow.
But when you look at that Colt, there's something else that you don't normally see on a Colt.
Yes, tell us. Interesting.
Well, one of the things that's unusual about this particular Colt is that it illustrates a patent that George Seeley came up with in 1911. He's the man that gets the credit for putting the first flashlight on a handgun. The way he did it, put a battery inside of the grip. He put a very, very nice little squeeze bar on the grip handle too.
Wow.
And all you had to do was just squeeze and the light would shine directly beneath the barrel. So you had it very nicely aligned with the bore.
Which, especially for law enforcement officers, having a flashlight on your firearm is pretty key in a lot of situations.
That was a pretty handy thing. Now, George Seeley's patent, he actually started producing guns around 1913, 1914. We know of a group of 10 guns that went out to San Francisco. That's where George Seeley was located. And that's where this particular Colt was shipped, which is kind of neat. They had to modify the frame on this gun tremendously. When you open up the crane, you can see two grooves that they cut into it so that the wires from the battery extend into the flashlight tube. Now, just like on the Colt where you have little screws that you can adjust,
right?
Same thing with George's design. You can move 4 screws to move that light up, down, sideways. 100 years, and have we really advanced that much? Maybe not.
What I always find fascinating, what I love doing on Curator's Corners, is when you have an innovation, like there's so much great thought and technology goes into when someone, and Doug, sometimes it always doesn't catch on or work really well, but Kaiser constantly try to do something better and improve the way something operates. And this, I'm sure when this came out, was a big help to officers out there and other folks as well.
This was something that was special. The first handheld flashlights came out around 1902. The problem with attaching just a flashlight to a handgun is recoil. The flashlight bulb is kind of delicate, and under recoil, basically it breaks easy. So what's neat is that George Seeley's patent included a spring and rubber buffer system around the bulb, so you could shoot and not have any problems. The light would keep working. 3220 is not a light recoil. I know of one other that's in 38 Special, which again, in a light frame, Colt Police Positive Special, that kicks a little bit.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's not like it's a 22, although George Seeley's patent had a 22 rifle represented on it. I don't know of any 22 rifles that have one of these. In fact, these are just incredibly rare. This one, with its blued finish on the grips, is in the best shape of the 3 that I've encountered.
Beautiful. I'm
not sure this one was really shot. I know the gun itself does show very, very little sign of having been shot. A neat gun. 3220 was a good cartridge. Imagine if you were a police officer and you had this in your holster. If you went down a dark alley in search of a hoodlum, this might be your best thing.
Wow.
Today, of course, folks that are carrying a modern pistol, this Glock is my personal carry piece. It's got a nice little laser and flashlight underneath the barrel. But in 100 years. 100 years,
and look from that to now, there's so many different light options. You said laser, there's so much technology there. It's almost, you think, okay, I can't believe we never had this. But
yes.
Wow.
What's kind of neat is that the light on mine uses a 3-volt battery. This Colt also uses a 3-volt Winchester battery. Sometimes in 100 years, we really haven't changed that much.
And if it ain't broke,
Why fix
if
it?
it works, it works. That is so great. And of course, now we know my brother's a police officer in Pennsylvania, and he loves his Glocks. Cops love their Glocks. Can't beat them. Well, Doug, that is so neat. Thank you for sharing it. And what a great kind of a way to give us a timeline with firearms innovation and technology to go from here to here in 100 years. Great stuff.
A piece of the past and part of the present, just 100 years apart.
Just think where we're going to be in 100 years, Doug.
I'm waiting. I'll come back and let you know.
All right. Doug Wicklund, thank you for being on Curator's Corner.